covered until hot. Add gross to taste.
I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl.
The accident was over a year ago. A second woman has been elected president. The 12th planet has been named in the solar system. The last wild polar bear has died. I slept through it all. Was here for my waking. He called it a beginning. He said it was good. I think you may have thought that anything I did was good.
Welcome to Transition Radio. Your host, Mark Angelo Cummings.
And hello, and good morning. Welcome to Transition Radio Show, and my name is Maritza. I've decided, and I'm going to have to make a new intro. I know it's like I've been doing a lot of soul searching and a lot of conversations with Mother, and she wants me to pursue my detransition, heading back to my original state. And although Maritza is not your typical flurry type of woman or female. She's very androgynous, has always been more into boy stuff and things of that nature, but nonetheless, still a woman and a female. I've been living for the past 16 years in a world that always felt forced, faked, and not real. I wanted to feel comfortable in my skin because I was always told that everything that I did was wrong. And one of my main mission, whatever years I have left in life, I turn 55 in June, is to help young women value who they are, because society has always made women feel less than. So I feel that it is my responsibility to share my story in hopes that I could help someone prevent from doing this. Now, please note I respect everyone's decision, and it's their life. I'm not going to badger you for doing what you intend to do, but I do want to educate, and I do want to share my story. And I do want to do so much work that's being driven by Mother. And besides that goal, I want to be able to help everyone see who they truly are inside, learn to balance their male and female side, because I believe that is what we're here to do. To help everyone learn how to think with their hearts and not their minds. To learn everyone to walk this path in joy and laughter. Laughter, the best medicine of all. And to be in love with life, with each other, with themselves, not in an egotistical way, but in a very spiritual, loving way that will help produce the fruits that Mother wants to see from us. Anyway, welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Dottie, I think earlier Stephanie was here, and all those that are hidden in the background, please don't be a stranger. Join the chat, say hello. If you want to call in, I think I wrote the number here somewhere. Yes, I did. And the number to call in is area code 575-265-0538. Your voice is always welcome. I love to hear your feelings, your thoughts, your laughters, your pain, everything, because we need to bring everything in the forefront. The time for the cleansing is now. Time for awareness is now. Time to reflect is now. So what do I have in line for today? And Dottie says, let me see here. This thing is, He says, so look forward to this show. Gives me some downtime to learn and share with my family. And this is a beautiful time. I so look forward to being with all of you. This is what I live for. And I can't wait till it goes one step further. So instead of looking into a camera and reading words, I could actually feel your essence, see your smiles, see your tears if there's something that, because we're working through all sorts of emotions. Everything's not always happy, happy, joy, joy. We have to also accept that there's a sad side of us because these meat suits have a duality to them, and we have 5 senses that have been put in there. The goal is to override those senses and start thinking and feeling with our heart. Start allowing the spirit that's within us to guide us in our every move. So let's see here what we got this morning. Well, this morning we're going to talk a little bit about the mind, the brain. Brain is something that some of us live to hear its message. Some people are constantly thinking. Some people just can't stop thinking. And not that thinking is bad, but if thinking takes over all the time, and you're constantly worrying, and you're constantly thinking about tomorrow and what you have to do, that kind of takes you away from the moment, which is the now. And in reality, if we think about it, the now is all we have. I keep looking at myself and it's like, who is that person staring at me? It's like just yesterday I had this full-blown beard and now it's all gone. At least I could see my smile. It brings me a lot of joy. I just don't know how to explain this. It brings me a lot of joy to come to terms. It's like I've gone full circles. And it's hard to lose self. And although a lot of trans people believe that they're gaining their true self, it's a self that we create because we want to fit into the world, because of whatever traumas we've had. But the true self, that innocence, that lifelong lived experience that we have, when we try to get rid of it, it's like losing a long lost friend. You literally have to grieve someone. And although many say, no, I'm so glad I don't ever want to have nothing to do with my old self or my dead name. I tried doing that, but somehow there was a little voice in my head that kept saying, imposter, you're not a man. You may play a good game, you may look like a man, but deep down inside, you're not. And I kept ignoring that voice in my head, kept like, ¿qué tú sabes? What do you know? Kept trying and trying. When I detransitioned a while back, and Lynette and I had a slight conversation this morning about that, and she wrote something very nice on my Facebook page. I had written a blog yesterday, a little something. And, when I detransitioned that first time, I didn't want to transition back, but I did because of her. Because she didn't want me to be Maritza. She wanted for me to be Mark. And I understand that. And I don't blame her for it because, it's where she's at. But I went ahead and I said, okay, Maritza, we're going to put you back on the shelf. You know where that goes. You know where you have to hide. And I continued. And, I'm not going to say it was terrible to be Mark. I do have that androgynous side. I do have that male side. But I totally squished Maritza and didn't let her be. So now, through the years, I could appreciate who I am. It took me to do this to myself, to lose my beautiful soprano singing voice, my beautiful long curly hair, to lose the essence of the woman that I am, to realize how much I appreciate being a female. And now I will fight for my sisters. I will help educate those that think that doing this is going to gain them some magic, wonderful life. I'm here to tell you that it doesn't. It might buy you a little bit of happiness for the time being, like a new toy. But after the years progress, you look back and you wonder. But I don't want to spoil the parade. It's your life. You've got to live it. I lived mine. But I'm here to tell the story that all that glitters is not gold. Anyway, this morning, one of the article is called Scientists Say Your Mind Isn't Confined to Your Brain or Even Your Body. Let me go ahead. Am I sharing this? No, I'm going to go ahead and share this so you guys could read along. Let's see here. It's been really cold here in Silver City. We got snow. And yeah, not a fan. I like summer. I was born in Havana, Cuba. I like tropical, you know. I love the desert. And I love this little town, but not in the winter time because it gets pretty cold. I've got this sinus thing going on and little stuffiness and stuff like that. And it's all because it's cold. I don't like cold. Pretty colorful brain we got here, huh? That's all sorts of color. To think we only used a little bit of it. And we have not yet learned how to tap into the wonderfulness, the abilities that we have been given by our wonderful creator, mother, father, who we are part of. Let's not forget, our bodies are not created by mother, father. Our bodies are created by the adversary. And that's for another show, but you all know that because those that come here know all that, right? You might wonder at some point today, what's going on in another person's mind? Many of you probably think I'm going crazy doing this, right? But you may compliment someone's great mind or say they are out of their mind. You may even try to expand or free your own mind. I want to add that I'm a lover of a person's intelligence. I love a person's mind. That is something that I've always admired and prefer over looks, frankly. But what is a mind? Defining the concept is a surprisingly slippery task. The mind is the seat of consciousness, the essence of your being. Without a mind, you cannot be considered meaningfully alive. So what exactly and where precisely is it? Traditionally, scientists have tried to define the mind as the product of brain activity. The brain is the physical substance and the mind is the conscious product of those firing neurons, according to the classic argument. But growing evidence show that mind goes far beyond the physical working of your brain. No doubt, the brain plays an incredibly important role, but our mind cannot be confined to what's inside our skull, even our body. According to a definition first put forward by San Siegel, a professor of psychiatry at the UCLA School of Medicine and the author of a recently published book, Mind, A Journey to the Heart of Being Human. He first came up with a definition more than 2 decades ago in a meeting of 40 scientists across the disciplines, including neuroscientists, physicists, sociologists, and anthropologists. The aim was to come to an understanding of the mind that would appeal to common ground and satisfy those wrestling with a question across these fields. After much decision, they decided that a key component of the mind is the emergent self-organizing process, both embodied and relational, that regulates energy and informational flow within and among us, unquote. It's not catchy, but it is interesting and with meaningful implication. Let's read that again. The main component of the mind is the emergent self-organizing process, both embodied and relational, that regulates energy and information flow within and among us. Regulates energy. Interesting. We are made out of energy. The mind regulates energy. The most immediately shocking element of this definition is that our mind extends beyond our physical selves. So in other words, it's not just encased in that skull. It's not simply our perception of experiences, but those experiences themselves. Siegel argues that it's impossible to completely disentangle our subjective view of the world from our interactions. And let's see if we have any comments. Okay, we've got Danny Flo joining us. Good morning, Danny Flo. We've got Phoenix I Am. Good morning, Phoenix. Great conversation we had last night. Thank you so much for sharing all the information. Stephanie says, morning, Phoenix. Chaser joins us. And let's see who else we got here. Stephanie says, oh, so he's still here, Dottie K. I'm confused. Not to worry, normal state. He's still here. Who's still? What are we talking about here? Oh, okay, because yes, okay, got it. And Tracy Roberts joins us. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you for joining me. Us. Phoenix says, hey, Mark, I have one thing to tell you. You're okay? I'm doing great. Just have a little bit of a sinus headache this morning. It's really cold. But other than that, I'm wonderful. Another day in paradise. And Mr. Bodangles joined us. Thank you so much, Mr. Bodangle. Thank you for the lovely comment you wrote on my blog. Thank you. Appreciate it. And Phoenix says, I feel a lot of pain in your heart today. One day at a time, my friend. Oh, no pain at all. I just got a headache because of the sinus thing. I'm actually very happy and very, very excited for what the future holds. I've totally made, commitment that I am going to detransition. I'm returning to my original state, which is female. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the show, although I'm an androgynous female, but nonetheless a female, and I'm okay with that. So I'm detransitioning. I've changed my my name on Facebook, and I'm trying to get everything done. My citizenship papers all have my female name, so I use that, as a form of ID until I get everything else taken care of, which is going to be a major red tape and pain in the where. But all with due time, one day at a time. That's all we got right here and now. But thank you for worrying. I love you. I love the conversation we had last night, and I know you care, and I care a lot about you. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night because of the cold weather, and my mind was just like really thinking a lot and thinking. I mean, it's like lots of changes here, lots and lots of changes. And I hope that you guys are all okay with my changes, that they're able to understand and still support me as the person that I am. I'm still me, still goofy me, still, deep voice me. This voice ain't going to change. It's the way it is. My mannerisms ain't going to change. It's the way I am. I'm just going to be my authentic self, authentically to who my mother gave birth 54 years ago. And, I'm grateful. I'm grateful of this journey, and I have no regrets, none whatsoever. So I realized if someone asked me to define the short line but insisted, is it the water or the sand? I would have to say the shore is both sand and sea, says Siegel. You can't limit our understanding of the coastline to insist it's one or the other. I started thinking maybe the mind is like the coastline, some inner and inter process. Mental life for an anthropologist or sociologist is profoundly social. Your thoughts, feelings, memories, attention, what you experience in the subjective world is part of your mind. The definition has since been supported by research across the sciences, but much of the original idea came from mathematics. I hate math. Siegel realized that minds meet the mathematical definition of a complex system, and that is open, can influence things outside itself, chaos capable, which simply means it roughly randomly distributed, and non-linear, which means a small input leads to large and difficult to predict results. Very interesting, this thing we call the mind. In math, complex systems are self-organizing, and Siegel believes this idea of the foundation to mental health. Again, borrowing from the mathematics, optimal self-organization is flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, and stable. This means that without optimal self-organization, you arrive at either chaos or rigidity, a notion that Siegel says fits the range of symptoms of mental health disorder. Bam, bam, bam. Chaos or rigidity fits the range of symptoms of mental health disorder. So in order for mental health issues to be vanished, we need to allow our minds to flow, to allow that energy to flow, because it is part energy. But when we have this either too much in chaos or too much rigidity, we start to get mental health disorders. So there are things that we need to do to help our minds out so that we do not continue to create the world that we're seeing outside, which we are creating, the world that we're creating inside of us. Finally, self-organization demands linking together differentiated ideas, or essentially integration. And Siegel says integration, whether that's within the brain or within society, is the foundation of a healthy mind. Another bam, society. Folks, what are we seeing today? God, I pick these articles. I don't read them. I promise you. I just my higher self, mother guides me. I'm looking, boom, and it's like, yes, this one is going to be a good one. And as I'm reading and I'm going, whoa, it's like synchronicity. Within the brain or within society. Society. The mind controls society. The society controls the mind. Let me see if you guys have any really good comments to share about this. Think you're feeling me, Phoenix I am. Yes. I feel a lot of pain in your heart today, one day at a time, my friend, and I was feeling dotting. I mean, because my heart, I'm good. I'm really, really good. Never better, actually. Never better. Breakups are difficult, no doubt, but I think that both Lynn and I agree that this is the best decision that we could ever make. We're both going to live our truth. And, together we can't live our truths. So apart is the only way that we can live our truths. And that's a reason to celebrate. That's a reason to be happy. We're going to remain friends. I'll always carry a piece of her inside of me. And she'll always carry a piece of me inside of her. As we spoke yesterday, when people die, when people break up, when people depart, you don't get rid of them completely. You don't get off that scot easy. There's always a piece of them inside of you. There always will be those lips, those eyes, our voice, always will be inside of me. All the things that we've been through will always be inside of me. The good, the bad, and the ugly, because it all was a wonderful experience. And can you still call me Mark? You can, but you call me Maritza too, but if you like calling me Mark, you can call me Mark. But, Maritza is my birth name. And I love that name, Maritza. Ritz for short. I know a lot of people can't say Maritza. So I learned that when I lived in England. I had an Irish girlfriend, and for the life of her, she couldn't pronounce my name. So she gave me a nickname, Ritzy. So, but again, I'm not gonna force anybody to call me nothing they don't want to call me. You can call me whatever you want to call me. I'm good with it all. And Phoenix says, the mind is one of the reasons I look so hard for the God factor. What could have made the mind that moves that hand without a thought? It drives me. Very, very interesting. Yes. Hey, Tracy. Butterflies. Love you. Thank you for joining us. Write it down for me then. Oh, then how to pronounce my name? It's Maritza. Or Ritzy. Ritz or Ritzy. There we go. But yes, very interesting factor there, or the God factor. What could have made the mind that moves the hand without a thought? It drives me. Well, as we were reading here earlier, it's driven by electricity. It's driven by situations. It's driven by society. It's driven by its environment. It's like it's creating all the time. Siegel says he wrote this book now because he sees so many so much misery in society. And he believes this is partly shaped by how we perceive our own minds. He talks of doing research in Namibia, where people he spoke to attributed their happiness to a sense of belonging. That is so important. The mind requires stimulation, requires love, requires the feeling of belonging. When Siegel was asked in return whether he belonged in America, his answer was less upbeat. I thought how isolated we all are and how disconnected we feel, he says. Isn't that the truth? In our modern society, we have this belief that mind is brain activity, and this means the self, which comes from the mind, is separate and we don't really belong. But we're all part of each other's lives. The mind is not just brain activity. When we realize it's this relational process, there's this huge shift in the sense of belonging. Let me read that again. But we are all part of each other's lives. The mind is not just brain activity. When we realize it's the relational process, there's this huge shift in the sense of belonging. It's like a massive network, our consciousness. The mind could be the generator that continues to charge our spirit in these bodies. It could be the sense of community because it's intertwined. So in other words, even perceiving our mind as simply a product of our brain rather than relations can make us feel more isolated. And to appreciate the benefits of interrelations, you simply have to open your mind. Pretty nice little article there. So let's see here. And more Tracy butterflies. And the other Tracy Roberts, says the energies are wild. Don't fret. We have the right spin. I love you no matter what you're called. Thank you, Tracy. That's right. It's just me. Different name, different labels, different looks, but the spirit is still the same. Little older. I've noticed that when I removed, I'm sure many of us have to deal with these little gobble necks, you know, and I've lost a lot of weight. I've been off of tea for a month. So it everything but it's okay. I love my little gobble neck. I love everything about me. We should all love everything about ourselves because we are perfectly made. And Dottie says, bam, Tracy Roberts. That's right. Bam. And Stephanie Allen says, Tracy Roberts, you have such a beautiful spirit. Much love to you today. She does. She does. Very brilliant woman. A lot of the things she has shared. Amazing. There was a show we had that we read some of her stuff that she had shared. And one of the comment sections, mind-blowing stuff. I love intelligent minds. Intelligent minds are amazing. Okay, so the next article, let me copy and put here. Minds are, and to think, so many of us do crazy things that destroy our mind. Like I know I abused drugs when I was younger and alcohol and, you know, all the crazy things that we do. When we get older, we look back and we go, gosh, what was I thinking? But we wouldn't listen to anyone, no matter who told us what. We're like, I'm not listening to you. What do you know? Right? We're younger. We think we know it all. And Tracy says to all of you too, lots of love. I love the love in this room. Stephanie Allen says, oh, shoot, the neck thing. Oof, I wear bandit scarves while stretching to accept the woman in the mirror. I know, right? It's like, it's always the neck. And what's really hilarious here is you see these actors, they get all these plastic surgery, right? And they've got all this thing, but the neck thing is still dangling. That and the hands. When the hands start to get older, and so it's like, why don't we just accept it? We're aging. It's what happens. I've made peace with that a long time ago. It's like, I know I'm going to die. I'm okay with it. I ain't afraid because I'm an eternal spirit. And I know that everything's just going to like wrinkle. Yesterday when I shaved and I looked at my face and I looked at my little chin and I'm like, wow. These past 4 years haven't been nice to me, you know? But I guess it's just, you know, there's like you hit a certain age and it's just like, But it is what it is, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I just want to be healthy. That's it. That's all I care about. I'm not about vanity. You'll never see me get any plastic surgery. I mean, I put coconut oil in my face just to keep healthy skin. And I try to eat as healthy as possible and try to hydrate because I know that hydration is important. That's all I drink is water, and I have some coffee when I have my first meal of the day, but that's about it. So Phoenix says, Tibetan eye chart online for exercising your eyes. This lazy eye or this lazy eye depends on which eye I look. If I look over here, wait, let me see, because this camera is backwards. If I look with this one goes this way. If I look with this one goes that way. But as you all saw, I mean, I don't know if you did in my ending clip, there's a picture of me as a child with my parents standing on each side. My eyes are like this. They were awful. And I wasn't born that way. It's when I died and had that seizure and I died. And when I came back, the eyes were like, they're all over the place. So I have 2 surgeries in this eye, 1 surgery in this one when I was 1 year old. Man, the doctor would put a patch. I never use this eye. This eye just sits there. And every now and then I try to get her to work. But, it's like this is a dominant eye. And Tracy Evernisi says, we are moving into the knowing how we are not this body, but the body we have needs to be loved and respected. I admire your sharing your path. It's huge and beautiful. I love you, fellow spirit. I love you, fellow spirit and sister. Thank you so much for your love, for your support. And whenever you want to call and share your story, phone's right here. Just let me know. I do a show at 9:30 and then another one at 5:30. But welcome to, to share your story. Because I know you've shared partially that you have a trans-identified child. And I've been getting a lot of emails from parents that are so worried. And, I vowed to them that I was going to do everything within my power to educate with kindness, but educate and allow these wonderful young women to realize that it's a beautiful thing to be a female. There's such gift, a gift that I kicked in the face, but it's never too late because I'm still alive and kicking. So Maritza is back. And Tracy Roberts says, Tracy E., can you please send me a Discord invite for Golden Dawn group? Sorry to be off topic. It's quite all right. This is your group. This is your show. You can interrupt all you want. And Phoenix I am says, I will keep my body and walk into the house. But everyone has a different path. I have a lazy eye and it rolls, so the chart helps me. So is there an email or a link so I could do that? Yeah, because I need to start doing that. And then I can't see with both eyes at the same time. I mean, I try. It hurts to do that. It's like, I feel like if I do that, I feel like I am going cross-eyed. But the doctor did try to, when I was younger, and get me to do exercise and the patchy thing. And I don't even know how I drive, to tell you the truth. Because when I went to occupational therapy school, and we were learning about bilateral vision and that you need that to drive. And I'm like, I drive because I only see with one eye at a time. It's been a massive thing for me because I used to always be very shameful of it and shameful of looking people in the eye. But I've outgrown all that. I've moved past that. It doesn't matter. The little lazy eye. So, Stephanie says, oh, hugs, Tracy, holding you in empathy. Tears, yes. Love you, sis. And I don't cry very often, says Dottie. Good tears, though. Yes, tears are important. It's important to feel. It's important to cry. It's important. It's to feel it, to own it. But then we must learn to let it go. Because if it stays in you, it's like, okay, I'm going to be a little crude here. It's like when my father was sitting on the table and we were eating and he would lay one. He said, I'd rather lose a friend than lose an intestine. Well, it's best. You can't keep things in. You feel it, you own it, but you must let it go because if you keep things in, be it a fart, I know, TMI, or be it emotions. We must feel it, own it, and let it go. Grateful and in honor. Is anyone else having technical difficulties? What kind of technical difficulties are we having? I hope that am I coming in okay? And Dottie says, I'm merely getting rid of toxins. And Phoenix says, just research the Tibetan eye chart, download it, put it on the wall. It comes with instructions. I'll do that, Tibetan eye chart. And Patricia, thank you. Thank you for joining me, Patricia Ribarik. Ribarik? I'm terrible with names. I hope it's Ribarik. Patricia, let's just keep it simple, Patricia. Thank you for joining me. Thank you so much. And Phoenix I Am says, I've had mine for 30 years. It was a gift. Dottie Key says, hi, Patricia, much love. How's your mom doing, Patricia, by the way? Kitten X, hey, thank you for joining us. Thank you. And okay, so everything's okay. It's just, Stephanie, maybe just refresh your page, Stephanie. Sometimes things could be, a little wacky, but I think I'm okay on my end. So I wanted to talk about the next topic of conversation. I want to address this before I read this article. I don't believe in the hatred of or pitting one gender against the other. I know there are women that have been done a lot of harm by men, and they've become hardcore feminists. I respect my sisters. I love them to death. I'm a feminist at heart, but I'm the type of feminist that doesn't hate men. I don't like the behavior some men exhibit, and I think men could have done better in this world with what they've done. But I believe that humans in general need to learn how to communicate a little bit better, to try to understand one another and be in a place of peace and not allow the separation of sex to divide us. I understand the anger that women feel and the years of suppression, and that this has been their vehicle of letting off some steam. I also know that Rockefeller created the whole feminist movement for a reason. And that's another show, another topic on its own. But, nonetheless, I think this comment is going to be good. Wake up, feminists. Transgenderism is the war on women. And let me read some more of these comments before I go into that. Danny says, 7, yes, randomly chat will stop, so I have to exit and re-enter. That's crazy. And Dottie says, hey, sister, much love and hugs. Patricia says, mom is leaving rehab on Sunday. I believe it is way too soon. Oh, so they're just kicking her out because hospitals do that, but make sure, don't let them bully you. If you don't feel comfortable and don't think that she's ready to go home, then, say something, talk to the doctor, because I don't know if she had an open reduction, an ORIF or a total hip replacement. They each have their own challenges. As a therapist, I've worked with many hip replacement patients, and it's no joke. I mean, she's going to go home unless she's going to have maybe nursing care at home, or if it's you that's going to take care of her. Tracy says, my message is for parents that you can accept your child's choices and love them. It's so beautiful and freeing, letting them walk their path. My tears are for the love Creator blessed me with. And yes, I totally see that. And I am grateful that you're there, that you're able to accept, because you should always love and accept your child. The name of the game is for your child to learn to love and accept herself for who she is. And there's a lot of confusion that's being placed in our world. And I'm not going to be preachy about it. I feel that I had a show yesterday, last night I think it was, I get them confused, in the morning show or the night show, that I talked about the Rossi fish. The Rossi fish starts out being a female, and if the community or the colony of the fish goes down, there's not enough males, the female will grow testicles and she'll change. This is done by nature. Nature does this if needed. What we have done to ourselves is not an act of nature. I'm going to leave it at that, but I respect you, and I'm grateful that you love your daughter and that you're at a place that you could be helpful to her, because that's what she needs. She needs your love and support at all times. Stephanie Ann says, yes, all okay now. I rebooted. Thanks. Awesome. Kitten T says, hi, Dottie. Thank you. Much love and hugs to you, sis. And did I miss anybody up here? Fine here. Let me see. Okay, so let's continue with this article. So, dear feminists who claim to care about other women but let anyone into the women's club, even if they're equipped with the other genitalia, as you worry about the patriarchy and whine about gender stereotypes. Well, while you're knitting genital hats, marching on cities to protest for women's rights, but actually protesting the sake of protesting, a man decided he could be a woman simply by saying so. And see, this is, okay, I believe there are true people that are transsexuals, that's, we're going to use that word, intersex people that they might have, they don't fit in society unless they do this, and it could be harmful to their life if they're an extremely feminine man and things of that nature. Although I will never, ever promote transition for anyone, but I could understand. I'm not hard-headed. I'm not, so out there. I have empathy. I do, because I've lived it. While you were concerning yourselves with the extermination of white men from planet Earth, foolishly exposing your comical stupidity and abhorrent racism, a man decided he could be a woman by wearing a dress. I also see that there's a lot of anger because a lot of women have been hurt. We interviewed one of our guests, Mickey, who was actually kicked out of a women's shelter because of a trans woman. Reported, said something that just got a real woman kicked out of the homeless shelter. So while you were perpetuating a lie about 1/4 women are sexually assaulted on college campuses, insisting there's a rape culture against women, a man decided he could use ladies' bathroom and locker rooms. And again, I totally see their hurt. I totally see their concerns. I could also see that there are some trans women that look just like women and can't go into a male's bathroom. So that's either they have to hold it or hope that there's some, single stall bathroom. But if, in my opinion, if they don't form any kind of danger to anyone, but again, it's one of those things. It's walking a tightrope. I don't want to speak either way. I'm not for transition. I respect people and their life choices, but my opinion, I'm not for it. While you were complaining about not making as much money as men while ignoring how men and women pick different jobs, those exposing your inability to read further, 2 sentences. A man took the Woman of the Year award. A cosmetic company made a boy their new cover girl spokesperson. And this is alarming because this is part, in my opinion, of the adversary's plan, the Archon's plan, Baphomet's plan. While you are bitching about the patriarchy, a secret conglomeration of men determined to keep women down, a man decided to run into the women's track and field team, and he won. The same for weightlifting and volleyball. Not to put too fine an eyeliner point on it, I think trans women should be competing against trans women, not against natal women. And it's not fair. Not fair at all. There should be. There should be, like trans guys should compete against trans guys. Trans women should compete against trans women in the Olympics, in sports, Brief side note, trans men girls who think their boys aren't being discussed in the post because there isn't a large contingent of men whining about the matriarchy conducing a war on men. Let's move on. And I'd have to say that's true because most trans guys are pretty behind the scenes. Matter of fact, I'm getting so many responses from trans guys. They're supporting what I'm doing. They've said they've had a lot of problems with testosterone. Their health has been affected. So what I'm saying is being heard. And that brings me great joy that they agree with what I'm saying and they've stopped taking testosterone because it's made them unhealthy. All of this happens while you feminists claim to care about women's rights, while actual men trample all over said rights and actual biological women. These men who parade as ladies while embracing every single stereotype you claim to loathe and despise continue dropping their pants to upon, I don't want to say the word, upon what it means to be a woman while you applaud their bravery. Let me see, we have any other comments? Bravery. Bravery is living with the cards life has given you. I wasn't brave before. I'm being brave now, in my opinion. What do we have here? My mom says Phoenix was a metal woman. The faster she gets going, the better. But she's not my mom, Patricia. Much love. And Patricia says, my 6-year-old has a lazy eye and he's now being treated with eye drops that treat glaucoma. Life is challenging. Let me tell you it is. And it's really difficult because since I only use one eye, my eyes get tired. Like when I went to college, oh my gosh. I mean, I would be so tired because my poor right eye is taking a toll. I would get headaches. I try to make my left eye work, but it's just going, we ain't doing this. I'm not contributing. And you just get headaches and you just get tired and sinuses and everything in this area just kind of, but you know, I'm 54 going on 55. I've lived with it this long. I ain't going to change. So it is what it is. Tricia says, thank you, Phoenix. I am much love to you. And Tracy Roberts says, amphibians and fish also will spontaneously change sex in a same-sex environment. Yes, and they do it very quickly. What I read yesterday, it was like in 8 hours or something like that. Boom. I mean, it's like magical. What Mother Nature, Mother Earth does, Mother, you know, Father, Mother energy of being able to imagine, gosh, they could do that. What can we do that we haven't tapped into? Tracy says, reptilian sex is determined by the incubation temperature of the nest. Wow. Didn't know that. Thank you for that information. Phoenix I Am says, if a woman does not have contact with another woman, she will not have her monthly. I used to remember when I used to be with my girlfriends, we used to always get our cycles together. Even though we started at different times, by the time we were together for a while, which was a good thing because you got it out of the way. You know, it's not nice when one had it and the other had to have it. And it's like we're both miserable at the same time. Tracy and Bernice says, yes, exactly. I always share the knowledge you are teaching because it's truth. The difference is I can share this truth with her in love. Yes, which is different than the old Tracy full of judgment. And that's beautiful, Tracy. We need to come in a place of love, not judgment, because a place of judgment pushes people away. A place of love gets people to see your compassion, and then they're able to receive the information a lot better. Good afternoon. No, it's morning. Still morning. Scott, morning, good morning, and thank you for joining us. I'm like, have I been on that long? And I'm like, no, it's only 10 o'clock. Dottie K says, good morning, Scott, and Phoenix I Am. The eye chart is fun for kids. Mine used it too. Yeah, I wish I would have been more diligent when I was younger, and this thing wouldn't be so bad, but, you know, it is what it is. I should probably start downloading that Tibetan chart and start doing it so it could help. Patricia says, my 6-year-old was born addicted to heroin, and during his mom's pregnancy, she took, Suboxone. Wow. Yeah, chemicals do that. I mean, my mom took DES, which is created, no, I didn't have a lazy eye when I was born. It was when I passed out. But yeah, drugs, yeah. Patricia said he spent his first 2 years locked in a dark room. Yeah, because of the excess stimulation. So it was like calming, you know, not light, not noises, to be able to what's the word I'm looking, calibrate the nervous system, if you will. And Phoenix says, Patricia, I feel you have no words for this. Definitely. Yeah, life is, it can be very challenging. But I think that it's meant to be that way for us to evolve and grow. Wake the heck up, you dim-witted, screeching bovines who refuse to wear. This person that wrote this article is very angry. Refuse to wear tampons for stupid reasons like stopping period shame. The only shameful issue surrounding periods is men clopping around the peto pumps, believing they're just as womanly as those women who have time of month. If you want proof of that patriarchy, check the grown man in the stall next to you who's not quite sure what the box mounted to the stall wall is for. Surprise for him when he pops that one open and realizes it's not a lipstick dispensary. Almost as bad as finding a genital between your legs if you believe yourself to be Rose in Titanic. But no matter how many gaudy diamonds a man wears below his stubby Adam's apple, he'll never be a queen of anything. He's a man with an ego big enough to believe he can simply make himself into a lady by stating it, making you conform to his reality. And that, I do have a problem when people try to push their gender identity on others. And that's one thing I have to give credit for with Lynette. She never did that. And that's good because there are a lot of trans women out there that will be in your face. They will even get violent if you don't see them for what they want to be seen. So, no, it's not all ego. There's a dangerous dose of delusional mixed in his estrogen cocktail. Those who are phobic of reality are waging war against those of us living by its rules. Calling transgender people delusional or egotistical is not hate speech, but virtue signaling trolls who believe themselves to be the arbiters of care. And who's never heard of experiencing logic tweeted me with all the pomposity of school harm explaining simple mathematics to a 7-year-old. You do realize how stupid this sounds, right? This person says you're basically saying trans women aren't women. And that's a nice comment. I mean, I've read some really, really bad comments. I get some horrible stuff sent to me. I get death threats and things of that nature. I've shared videos with you guys when somebody misgender a trans woman. They go viral. They go postal. That's not good. We're not sure what that is, but we think it's picking its nose. A man who is a man is not a woman. If you find that hateful or offensive, here's another smack to the head. But this open letter isn't for the delusional dudes prancing about town dressed like pinup models. It's to you ladies who allow these hairy-beasted orgs into our clubs or femininity without raising one natural thin eyebrow, thereby selling womanhood to the lowest bidder, men, delusional ones. I know I typed delusional already, bears repeating as often as these hogs shove their trunks into pantyhose and tuck their genitalias whenever I don't want to visualize. Let's move on. What happened to women being valued for being women? If being a woman is as simple as stating it is, or my favorite, claiming they have a female brain, whatever that is, while embodying all the female stereotypes of Barbie dolls, what other conclusions can I draw other than your disinterest in the value of real women? Here's another tweet shared. Do these men and boys think it's easy being a woman? We're much more than boobs, vagina, and dresses. And that is so true. That is so true. Let's see if we have any more comments here or any new. Okay. So Patricia says he's doing amazing for what he's been through. That's great to hear. Kids are very resilient. They really are. And Patricia says parents were heroin addicts and they left him hungry for days in the dark room. His brothers 4 and 5 kept him alive. Bless your heart, you adopted them. Wow, what a heart. It's really, and I don't want to judge mothers that do that to their children, take drugs while they're pregnant. A lot of them, they're strung out when they have sex and they get pregnant, and it's This world is so upside down, folks. That's all I could say. Hey, Brian Parker, Tactile Sovereignty, thank you for joining us. And Scott says, I'm in Maine 2 hours ahead. Ah, that's why. Well, then it is afternoon for you. So Dottie says, Patricia, I know it's not easy, but so worth the love and patience to raise these special children. That is so true. Very, very true. I'm sure he brings you a lot of joy. I'm sure he does. So we have men taking over our jobs. Nail Mitt Hammer. Trans women think all it takes to be a lady is to look like one, grinding women and womanhood down to basic parts of fashion choices. If ever there was an attack on femininity, this is it. And it's true. I mean, you could express as you wish, but to say that you're the opposite gender just because of what you're wearing and how you want to express yourself, that in my opinion is totally disrespectful. But that's my opinion. We have been taking over our jobs. They have been taking over our jobs, invading our private spaces, pushing us out of opportunities, all with society's blessing, branding anyone who objects to the shameless appropriation of femininity and masculinity when trans men pretend to be boys as transphobic. Meanwhile, you feminists are bitching about the gender pay gap and pinning it on the patriarchy. The patriarchy doesn't take the form of Armani-suited men sitting around in boardroom talking like King Arthur's knight, waxing eloquent about what masters of the universe they are, backslapping each other between butt-slapping their busty secretaries, get me a sandwich, sweetie. The patriarchy is Caitlyn Jenner, a beefy former Olympian who decided to be a she-male and cut off his winky, leading a trendy movement for men who sees an opportunity to advance by figuratively shoving or sometimes literally punching real women out of the way. And this is true. There have been trans women that have literally punched females in the face during events and things of that nature. Kiss women's sports goodbye as men take over and cream real women because, yes, ladies, men are physically stronger than we are. They're going to perform better in sports. Women's sports were established so women could play sports because before they weren't even allowed in sports. So they created sports for women. So it's like, here you go, sweeties. You can have your own little games, but now that's even been taken away. With other women for the fun of it, to compete with each other, to play. Women's sports were not, to my knowledge, established for entertaining the masses or for wimpy men who couldn't hack it with the boys. Watching female sports in general isn't that interesting. Exception to every rule, sure, but letting men compete with us? Women's sports are for women. Men's sports are for men. Let the boys play with the boys. Let the girls play with the girls. Otherwise, it's not fun anymore, is it? Ask the girls who keep losing to boys. Ask them how they feel about being constantly made to feel less simply because a boy is beating them. And yet you ladies who allow actual girls to be routinely defeated by actual boys have the audacity to lecture the rest of society about women being paid and valued less in the workplace or society at large. Let's all be thankful our irony hasn't taken the form of a fat pride feminist you'd have suffocated long ago. Behold, this is your war on women, not Mitt Romney with a binder full of women, men taking over what it actually means to be a woman while approaching how we look, how we sound, and how we dress, while actually taking that which belongs to women is the war on women, a war perpetrated with your third-wave feminist blessings. Consider your hypocritical selves just as exposed as trans women's ding-dongs in yoga pants. Then get out of the way. Women concerned with delusional men's appropriate of femininity have work to do. Okay, tell us how you feel. She was pretty strong about that. Again, I don't read the articles before I just kind of like, look at the thing, get a feeling for it. But there's a lot of points, a lot of important points there. And let's see what we got here. I'm trying to find where I left off. Brian says this is just part of preventing mankind from knowing who they really are. Yes, Brian, totally. And that's why I decided to detransition. I decided not to continue to perpetrate this. I'm a woman who, because of the situations that I was faced with in life, made a decision that literally made my life go on a massive detour. I lost a lot. I suffered a lot. I then tried to just play it up, but I couldn't play it up anymore. It's time to live in truth. It's time to heal. It's time to educate. I want to be able to educate, and I want to do it kindly, because I believe that if we whisper instead of shout, people will be more apt to listen. And Patricia said, is Caitlin a puppet who's been paid to play a part? I believe so. I believe there's some MK Ultra involved there. I believe that there's something going on. As we know, Hollywood has a way of doing things, programming things, setting things forth. So I truly believe yes. And Patricia, Stephanie says, excuse me, Patricia, reference Caitlin, yes, total shill. Yep, totally. Makes you wonder, says Phoenix, I am. It was part, have you noticed that was like the grand entrance? And from that moment on, woo, it's been a roller coaster. It's like they're coming out of the woodwork. Caitlyn Jenner and Jazz was for the kids. And I could kick myself in the you-know-where because I brought Jenny to the table. I feel very responsible. I feel very bad. And, that's why I've got to try to turn the ship around some way, somehow, or do the best that I can. Hi, Ask Lucid. Thank you for joining us. Hello, daytime live show. Glad to catch you. Been sick, but on the upside. My gosh, well, I'm glad you're feeling better. I'm so sorry that with cold stomach thing. No, I'm glad you're on the upside. I feel like I'm getting like a little sinus thing. It's like, yeah, I don't have any tonsils because they removed. So every time I get any sinus drip or whatever, and then it's been cold, it's been snowy, and I think we're supposed to get more snow on Friday. Don't like snow. I'm Cuban, Cubanita, born in the Isla Havana, and I like tropical. Phoenix I am says, Ask Lucis, sorry you have been down. Glad you're coming back to health. Yes, very, very, very glad you're coming back to health, and thank you for joining us. And Tracy Robert says, the Minnesota Lynx WNBA has earned 4 championships in 6 years. Timberwolves, Vikings, 0 Twins, 0 Wild, 0 yet. They all have new stadiums. Yes. Tell ya. And let's see here. Copy and next article. Yeah, it really worries me. It worries me. I read an article in 2 parts and 2 show regarding the funding behind this trans agenda, the corruption behind Big Pharma, utilizing drugs that have not been made for the purpose that it's being used. In other words, Lupron has not been approved by the FDA for the purpose of blocking hormones, puberty with children, and none of the estradiol or testosterone has been approved for HRT treatment in transsexuals. But the WPATH, has a way of twisting things. They have big pockets. They have connection with big pockets. I might end up doing a video, putting the whole thing together, but not an online live, just something that I could slap together, maybe an audio so people could understand where this is really coming from. And it is pretty alarming. As is this article that I'm about to read right now, the CIA whistleblowers exposing the roles of CIA, Bush, and Rockefellers in the global sex trafficking of children. That's another really, there's so many mind-blowing things going on right now at this moment. Hey, Jeffrey McLean, thank you for joining us. All is well. And Trace, as he asked, Lucy said, liver problems ever since my gallbladder was removed. Oh, wow. Yeah, because, the body, once you start removing one thing, then other organs, glands and things like that have to take up the job. And it's oof. So sorry, but I'm glad you're feeling better. Stay away from high fats because your gallbladder is what processes the fat. When I had another mind fart and I decided to try the keto diet and I went off my plant-based, my gallbladder was, in such pain. I stopped. And luckily it's okay now. But make sure you stay low fat. When you don't have a gallbladder, you don't have the processor, and then your liver has to take on the slack, and the liver's not meant for that. The gallbladder is. So low fat, very small amount of fat, and stay away from oils if you possibly can. If you're going to have fat, have avocado, small amounts like a slither or a little handful of nuts. Too much fat without a gallbladder is not good. And Dottie says, please hit the like button. Thank you. Yes, please. If you have not subscribed, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you for joining. Please hit the subscribe button, share, like. Any of you so feel inclined, if the information that I'm giving to you is helpful and you like what I do, please consider donating. You got a PayPal button, I think down in the description. If not, it's on the actual channel itself when you go out in the about. I appreciate every little bit helps, and I appreciate you guys so much. And if you can help, I appreciate you guys so much anyway. And Phoenix says, me too, I'm sure we need the gallbladder. I too get very sick from this. Yes, we do need the gallbladder. Gallbladder is very important. It's what metabolizes and digests your fats. One of the many, many things. Well, anyway, the following is a powerful story by Dr. Sue Arrigo. Yet again, it points to the CIA and George Bush, as well as the whole criminal cabal running the U.S. government and associated corporation and Rockefellers. This may be difficult for some to accept, but all the evidence time after time points to it. The earth and its people are playgrounds for the elite criminal cabal of psychopath ruling our countries. And FYI, when I lived in Fort Lauderdale, the CIA had a meeting with transgender folks. And that kind of prompted me to realize that this agenda is being pushed. It's very diabolical. Believe it or not, the trail is there. The money trail is there. It's what they're trying to do. This is a story of how the CIA uses war zones to gamer kids for the sex slave business. You may have heard how the two companies, DynCorp and Halliburton, were caught trafficking in women and children during the war in Yugoslavia. Some background on this can be found in DynCorp and Halliburton's sex slave scandal won't go away. So in these cases, they were importing and trafficking in Russia and East Bloc women as sex slaves. It's just the things that go behind closed doors and curtains. People are just like, oh, I want to talk about the children that are native to any war zone. The CIA did this across Africa and anywhere they went as a standard part of their operations. The name of the front company will change over time. I'm writing this down from memory after being inside the CIA for decades. It was a whistleblower. Some of the details may be off, but the gist of the material will be correct. The expected lifespan of a sex slave. The economics of a child being sold into sexual slavery are such that is very lucrative. A child in the sex slave business has a useful expected lifetime of 2 years. They fail to thrive in that setting. They die of disease, neglect, abuse, and giving up. That just does something to me. That just, again, having been a victim of child molestation, that just irks me to no end. Kids are killed if they are seriously hurt. The kids are killed if they are seriously hurt, refuse to work, or become too jaded to attract customers. They are almost never freed by their owners because they could talk. It is a dead-end occupation, usually. No one takes a child like that to an ER because the sexual abuse might come to light. They are expendable goods that their owners don't expect to last anyway. If they're boys, they might grow up to be a pimp. Some children run away, but they're often recaptured by other pimps. If they come from another country, they have no papers and poor language skills. If they're picked up by the police, they're detained for months, for years, and deported, often back to the same war zone. Some were child soldiers or child spies before forced into sexual slavery. Even without that, they have disabled post-traumatic stress syndrome intentionally inflicted in them in order to disable them and keep them from being able to run away successfully. I just visualize all of this, and it's very disturbing. The economics of sex slavery, if they are transported to a place like New York City, the owners can make up to US $50 an hour for up to 10 hours a day, roughly $500 a day and $3,000 a week, which is $150,000 a year. The kids' food costs next to nothing. The owner has to house them. They rent and clothes, etc., are less than $10,000, depending on the location. It's still $140,000 profit per year, or about $300,000 for the expected lifespan of the child. The going price for brothel owners to buy a kid on an auction block in New York City and DC is between $500 for a sick kid to $50,000 for a choice virgin who is blonde and blue-eyed and speaks English. You wonder where all these kids that are going missing are going. The average price for a kid from a war zone is about $2,000 US, and there's about $10,000 costs to get into the auction at all. Note, I've attended a number of these. I used to have a hobby of figuring out how to shut the auction houses down. It is a dangerous hobby. People practicing it are flirting with death. Hopefully they are good spies or operative before they try it. For training good spies is an initiation practice, like American Indian practice of slapping a grizzly bear. The CIA runs the kids and sells them in large slots, like by the ship full of several hundreds or a train load to the auctioneers. In the regard, it's like the CIA drug running. The CIA only does that big stuff. If you mess with them at that level, they order a hit on you without thinking twice. And one interferes with the next level down. After they sold the kids already, they're not so uptight about it. It may not be their financial loss. Gathering the harvest of orphans in war zones. Well, the CIA and its corporate bosses like the Rockefellers and Bushes make about $1,000 per kid from a war zone if they sell them to auctioneers. Of that 1,000, the CIA will get about 300, and about 700 will go to the corporate bosses. For drugs, the split is more than 15 USD per 100 in profit going to the CIA. Let's see if we have any more comments. Folks, this is very, very disturbing and disgusting. You know, it's crazy. Hey, Theodora, thank you. Theodora, thank you for joining us. And let's see here where we are. Jeffrey McLean. Jeffrey, please hit the like button. So Theodora joins us and says hi. And thank you, Dottie, for posting that. And Ask Lucid says, my dear friend couldn't eat anything, was in the ER on Sunday. Severe pain, fatigue, and jaundice. But like I said, feeling better. Wow. Yeah, it can do a number on you. Gallbladder is something. So I hope that, you know, your diet, you start paying attention to your diet, because that's where it stems from. Too much fat and too much processed food, too much sugary foods. You've got to give your liver a break because it's running solo now. Phoenix I Am says, much food makes me sick now. I would not remove that organ. No, you need your gallbladder. I mean, when a doctor tells you to have it removed, you try to do everything possible to maybe try to heal yourself, because once you remove it, it's very difficult. And let's see here. Phoenix I Am asked, Lou said, I feel for you, it hurts. Yeah, I tell you, when I did that keto, I mean, the pain, it was just so, like my body was telling me, stop. You don't want to do this. And Theodora said, yep, ex-Yugoslavia here, sick all. Kosovo and Albania horror. Yeah, it's like it's all over the world. In between, like yesterday I read an article, the Catholic Church, and all the churches, not just Catholic, all the religious people have this pedophilia ring thing going on. And then within all the stuff that I'm reading right now, it's like, what are we doing to stop this? You know, this is crazy. And Patricia likes your name, Theodora. It is a beautiful name. Phoenix I Am says, the best thing here is that I never got away with it. Everything you do is seen, even in the dark. Theodora says, where are you from, Patricia? And Stephanie says, this truth makes my blood boil. That's how I feel right now. My blood, I'm trying to contain myself. I believe this to be my purpose here. Learning now. Too much awaiting instructions, activation from Mother, Father, Creator. And that's why I intend to do. That's why I pick different topics, not just spiritual topics all the time. I like to incorporate a lot of spiritual stuff because we need that to grow. But we need to empower ourselves with everything. We need to grow. We need to learn. And I plan to commit myself to bring information twice a day. While I still can do it twice a day. When I'm out on the road, I don't know if I'll be able to do it twice a day because I will be meeting with people. And I will try to film things so that I could download, but I will promise you to at least do it once a day, 5 days a week. If I could do more, I will do more. Stephanie, this is known since my childhood. Many scream out. It's in movies of ex-Yugoslavia. Nothing's changed. So sad, Theodora. I mean, it's everywhere. This is just, it's like, what's sick? I mean, if people don't believe that there are reptilian blood people and people that are sick and controlled by the adversary, then they've got something coming. They're idiots. Something we need to wake everybody up. I can't express that enough. Phoenix AM says, big ring here, a couple of towns later, and you are in Whitefish, Montana, holding house deep in the mountains. Ohio, says Patricia. Theodora says, Patricia, any EU roots? Breberick means like fisher. And Phoenix AM says, cops help them also. 666. And Stephanie Allen says, it's worldwide. Yes, I will go where I'm needed and happily lay down my life for these innocents with no voice, period. Mic drop. That's right, Stephanie. That's right. Hello, Theodora. I said hello earlier, but I don't know if you heard me or, yeah. Thank you for joining us. Always appreciate you and your presence on our chat room. And Danny Flo, all the info just breaks my heart. I know, bro. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just like, and Kelly Pereira. I'm Cuban and I botch people's names up, but I hope I kind of did it somewhat, but I'll just call you Kelly. Thank you for joining us. Ask Lucia says, I've forgotten to contact you both for some reason. I trust you and Luna with some real sensitive things. Yeah, I was wondering where you went, but you've got the email, and we still conversation, talking, and I could maybe help you put some eating plan together to keep you healthy, because I don't want to see you go through that pain in the hospital again. ERs are no fun. Patricia says, Breberick is my married name. My ancestry is from many places. Theodora, food problems here also. Yeah, it's we need, that's why I try to bring information, with the 2 shows sometimes on how to eat right. I do take one-on-one clients via phone, Skype, and things of that nature. And I'm here to help folks. I'm here to, provide as much as I possibly can. As I grow, I want to help you grow with me, grow together as a family. Kelly says, had to change my diet lately because my gut was killing me. Definitely feeling better and learning to listen to my body now. It is so important. She will talk to you. She would tell you what she likes, what she doesn't like. If we ignore her, we get in trouble. I always say, keep it simple. Learn how to food combine. I'll put shows together that talks about that, proper food combination. The time you eat is very important. What kind of food you're eating, keeping away from processed junk, keeping it plant-based as possible, not only for your spiritual growth, but for your health. Phoenix AM says, ask Lucia, 10 minutes with the sun on your kidneys a day helps the kidney. Yes. Sun gazing helps that too. Learn how to sun gaze, and I'll have an article about that. But it's usually first thing in the morning and like right before the sun goes down. You want to be careful, and then you can build your tolerance up. Dottie says, mind, body, and spirit. Definitely, we need it all. And Theodora says, yeah, enough is enough. This boiled over. All want to leave this fake shit. I hear you. Get tired of it. Anytime I ask Lucia, we need to help each other. They won't. Much love, says Phoenix. 33, join us. You shave, you must feel free and not so itchy anymore. Like me, I have 2 shaved mine. Awesome, proud of you, Mark. Be you. Much love, family. And I'm gonna say, yes, I did. And I've decided to detransition. You could call me Mark, but I'm also going by my female name, Maritza. Ritz, if you can't pronounce Maritza, but you could call me Mark, you could call me whatever you want. I'm two-spirited. And I am enjoying the freedom of being able to do that, being my androgynous self. And I'm looking forward to the changes it will take as my body gets freed of the testosterone that I've been on. I've been off of it now for a month. I'll probably start to see good changes 6 months into it. So I'm excited. I heard you, Mark. Okay, thank you, Teodora. Lucius says, my family's lines not to be made public, so I watch who it is I interact with. Yes, you must be very careful. Kelly says, no worries, it's actually Quishing now, but that's even worse. And let's see, 33 says, love the difference topic, and in all wisdom is good to have good or bad discernment and love with it all. Thank you, Dottie. Nice to see you as well. Hi. Hope you are doing well. Lots of love to all of you. You guys are amazing, and thank you so much. And Phoenix says, I hide for these reasons we are talking about. They want me dead. I ran and got away. Danny Flo says, I feel that all these bad fools they are out there are put there to keep us sick, addicted, and checked out from reality foods. Yes, yeah, that's what they're there for. That's why we have to be so mindful and be careful what we're putting inside our bodies. And Kelly says, you're a beautiful soul. Thanks for being an inspiration to some. Thank you, Kelly. I'm here for all of you. I'm here to be a beacon of light, to be a beacon of truth, to help those that are struggling with gender issue to not take this road, to realize they're beautiful just the way they are. And for those who decide to go on this path, I wish them well, and I wish that they take care of their health, because this lifestyle, this way of living is not conducive for well-being, neither physically nor emotionally or mentally or spiritually, in my opinion. But those are my opinion, and I respect the opinions of others. I don't claim to know it all. I'm sharing my truth, and that's all I can do. And Stephanie says, okay, let me see. Teodora says, let the father handle it. Father, mother, yes. I did this based on mother. I'm driving yesterday, and I was just like, told the path that I need to take and what she wants me to do. So I am doing it. 33 says, I love your original name. It's pronounced Maritza. It's Maritza, Maritza. And it's, I believe, a Greek river. My mom chose that name, and it's a beautiful name. She was floored when I changed it to Mark Angelo, and mind you, not happy, but I'm sure she will be happy that I'm on the path back home. And let's see, Stephanie says, Danny Flo, yes, right on point. I haven't been able to digest food for over 10 years. I look at the stuff, though, keeps my shopping and diet simple. Keeping it simple is the greatest thing. You want to be able to digest. If you mix too much things together and improper food combination, you're setting yourself into a lot of problems. So, let's see here. Phoenix I am says, Maritza. Yes, thank you, 33. I find less is best. So 1 meal a day. That's what I do, 1 meal a day. These pants that I have on, they do like a blue tinge thing. I don't know why, but anyway, Ask Lou says Mari. Yeah, that's what my mom calls me for short, Mari. One of my best friends in grade school was named Maritza. Yeah, it's spelled the same way. Interesting. I've moments of androgynous, and it's usually during life lessons I do the opposite and stop shaving. LOL. There you go. It's awesome. This two-spirit thing, this androgyny thing is like amazing stuff. And Danny says, I hear you, Stephanie. I'm going back to being a vegetarian myself. That's awesome, Danny. Awesome news. So let's see here. About 1% to 2% of kids are tried that way as spies or corporate slaves. About 5% of the kids are skimmed off by the bosses for looks. The best of these end up as a houseboy or girl of a politician, oh my gosh, that the boss wants to keep happy and controlled. They also be spying on the politicians for the boss. And the position comes of these kids make it into adulthood. Presidential models harvesting the children of us military officers. Presidential models who get trained by the CIA are in the category. Bryce Taylor is an example of that. Her books are available on this, in the link in this. Let me put, if you guys want this, I'll be able to control copy. Let me see if this will do it. If you want the link, there's the link. Oh, it won't do it because it's too long. Oh, I did it. Okay, I think. So their minds were split using torture at an early age. These kids probably do suffer from a lot of mental disorders. Mine was split at age 3 or 4. One or more of the parts is often very psychic. There are, however, much better ways to make accurate psychic without trauma. But presidential models often have been trained by the CIA in special ESP skills like having a photographic memory or other special CIA spy ESP skills. They may have been programmed to have include the ability to speak in tongues in any language, the ability to see and hear at a distance, and clairvoyance and clairaudience, aka remote viewing, shape-shifting, and forecasting the future, including stock price. The CIA needed these skills, and spies, shamans had the skills. And the CIA. Phoenix, I am. The conversation we had last night, and you didn't know why they wanted you. There you go. Did they R&D to get them? The bosses own their own high-class call services that make lots of money off the services. They're friendly businessmen. This is sometimes associated with an escort type of service, allowing children to grow up as well by being charming. But that is really difficult, as most of these children are too hardened and jaded after years of two to carry that off. Let me see here. How much more do we have of this? White House diners, lucrative prostitution of American boys and girls of any age. This is crazy. Presidential model made in CIA mind control fashion. Beautiful girls and boys who were charming spies without advanced ESP skills usually fetch $10,000 to $30,000 a day to their bosses when used at White House functions. This is sickening, folks. This is just, it was up to the butler to know which category the man was in the terms of his wealth and personal preference. He usually came into the dinner on the arm of the DCI and sat next to him through much of the evening so that he could have me answer his question as a remote viewer of known accuracy in their personality. It was up to him if I was to be surrendered to another man for the evening as it affected national security. This is crazy. President Carter is the only exception to the rule that I know of here. But roughly the president personally makes a good 30 to 100 million a year, just the president model sex slave that starts to tell you about the conflict of interest in stopping this corrupt system, and has been going on a long time since President Kennedy. This is just crazy. Crazy stuff. I mean, I'm like, yeah, I don't even want to read anymore. This stuff is, wow. I mean, when you think you've gone deep into the rabbit hole and you go deeper, it's just, it blows your mind. It blows your mind completely. And, it's not good. Let's see. What do we have? I use apple cider vinegar for my gallbladder. Apple cider vinegar is wonderful. I highly recommend it. You can take it first thing in the morning before eating anything on an empty stomach to really coat your stomach, create a healthy gut bacteria. Stephanie says, me too, Danny Flo, 2 months in a row, no meat. Phoenix, I have blood sugar issues, so someday I have to eat more than others, but I keep it on one meal mostly. But I'm just proud of you that you're like, no meat for 2 months now. That is so amazing, Stephanie. That's awesome. Awesome. And Ash Lucia said, coming in alignment balance is what androgyny. And yes, and it's a beautiful thing. It's like I look at myself and, I'm older, obviously, from the pictures that I have on the ending clip of the ending of the show. I put like when I was younger and all the way through. It's blue. But it's like, it's like recognizing it's like a long lost friend returning, beautiful thing. I'm very happy. Thanks for the link, Ritz. Oh, thank you, Stephanie. We'll finish after live stream. Let's see. Yeah, we are at coming into alignment. Yes, totally alignment. That's what it's all about. The two will become one, making peace with both our sides. Phoenix AM says, I will die before they get any more from me. They have my bone marrow. They destroyed my life. I'm sick of them outside my house. I think I'm going to walk up to them next time. Phoenix AM says, watch the movie Hitman. This is what they do. I call them sleepers. Men in Black. Crazy stuff. Okay, guys. That's all for this morning. I'll be back at 5:30 with another show. And this evening's show is called The Art of Loving Self, Be Connected to Mother. You know, it's important for us to be connected to our mother. I know we are used to using the term father all the time. You know, it's very patriotic, misogynistic world. She tells me, need to speak her name as much as possible. Bring her back into existence. Bring her back into our hearts. She's here now, but we need to vibrate higher so she could do what she needs to do. We're part of her. We are her children. She loves us and needs us. I know I'm going to do everything possible. And I know all of you watching, my family, my tribe, will too. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you this evening, early evening, 5:30. I love you so very much. I thank you for supporting me, for understanding me, for being by my side doing this amazing new journey. And I can't wait to get out there and meet you guys in person. We all need to heal from our lazy eyes, from all the things that we've been talked down upon from the moment we were born, and break free from all the labels and all the shame. I love you guys. Thank you, Kid Next. Thank you for joining. Thank you, all of you. Love you so much. I love that name, Ritz. When I see it, it's like, and Maritza, when I see it, it just brings joy to my heart. Thank you. I love you. But remember to always, always love yourselves too. I'm sure this little thing is on. It's like you got to chew gum and walk at the same time here. Love you guys so much.